You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
I don't know who's going to try to catch that.
I'm actually recording it, so
all right. You hit the button over here already?
Just a heads up, I got like 4 or 5 on one side.
Sorry. I had it completed.
You have to savor that.
We
are live.
I had it done until Jeremiah screwed it up.
Just saying, but you can't beat me.
No, I can't. These are the epitome of like being fun to play with, but you have no idea what that
It's just our fidget spinner.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a
Welcome
pattern to it.
To the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 101 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Mr. Dakota Davis and other co-host Chase Payton and producer Chris Guffey.
Today's episode is featuring Joey Mulinaro. Did I say that right?
You said it perfect, man.
I did say it right.
As long as Ben Pizza's not here, we can get through this.
Exactly, man. Get that guy out of here.
He is from the Espresso podcast and also features himself on 1070 The Fan, local station out of Indianapolis, Indiana. We were going to be talking to him today.
Just a tiny little local station.
Yeah.
Well, our local station, or worldwide on the internet. We're going to be talking to him about some Newcastle politics and what's been going on in our world. We're also going to be talking about Indiana and our solar panel issues that we've been having in the state. And then finally, we will be venturing off into Joey's world and talking about the Purdue versus IU rivalry game.
Boiler
I
up,
cannot
baby.
say rivalry.
Rivalry?
Yeah, the R and the L next to each other doesn't work for me.
Do the best you can.
Yeah. It's kind of like Mills.
Mills?
Kids Mills.
Or Hills. I always say that wrong.
So many struggles in your life, Dakota. I don't know how you made it this far.
Very many.
All
I
right.
enunciate a lot better since starting this podcast, but I guess some things just never change.
So you don't listen to 1070 The Fan because you don't do sports, I know, but
You listen to our sister station, though.
I listen to 1070 The Fan sometimes because some of the guys I work with, they listen to it.
Okay.
And, we play the radio when we're on the job. So
the afternoon host from 4 to 7, a guy named JMV,
Yeah.
is there, and he's from Southern Indiana. He's like from Greene County, and he will play, just as a troll to himself, early audio from his first radio stuff he did down in Vincennes. And if you think you're bad, Dakota, you go listen. You listen to what JMV sounds like in the late '80s, and you're the next Rush Limbaugh.
See, it was like a problem because he was a DJ with a lisp, so it was kind of like being a PA announcer with a stutter. I mean, it just doesn't work out very well.
I never had a lisp.
But he overcame. So
I only walked weird whenever I was a little kid. So.
Were you Forrest Gump?
No, I had
Run, Dakota. Run.
I had pigeon toes. I had to get that fixed.
Tom Firkinoff is watching, and he says, I don't know who Joey Mulinaro is, but he sounds like someone who could dominate open wheel racing.
I don't know what open wheel racing is.
That's IndyCar.
Oh, okay.
IndyCar Formula Racing.
Well, damn, I appreciate that. I've never been, the only wheel I've been behind is just, my Honda Civic out there, so I don't think I could do anything wild. I haven't even done a go-kart like Chase was talking about earlier. But
man, we need to take you to the go-kart track down here in
It's
Newcastle.
pretty scary, man. Don't go.
Actually, I did do that one time. It was one of my first dates with my future wife, and her whole family was there.
She's from a big go-karting family. That's how Riley and my wife got to know each other, and my roundabout way of meeting Joey was through Riley.
Uh-huh.
And her brother is like,
he's legit.
He is like Tony Stewart's racing team.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the JD Byrider go-kart driver.
Yeah, no. So they bring me out to this. I was the race for Riley, and I'm out there, and they have a PA announcer, and every seemingly 10 seconds, it was another spin out from Joey Mulinaro. So they still give me crap about it.
Yeah, that's where we went for my bachelor party. Well, no, it wasn't my bachelor party. It was the wedding day.
It was the day of the wedding.
I don't know how we got.
Sarah was not happy.
You guys went racing on the day of your wedding?
Yes.
Oh, that's
the morning.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just a recipe for good things.
I brought her dad. It wasn't going to go bad. It was. I mean, Kevin was there. It was fine.
It didn't matter. She was still very upset.
I'm going to try to not piss the wife off on the wedding day. So.
You want to go racing?
Yeah.
It's a great way to get your nerves off of it.
Right, it's true. I'll just take a couple shots of
I
Tito's.
really thought you meant like arcade go-kart racing. It wasn't like that. It was scary.
Then they gave you a fire jacket and a helmet.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared.
At least you didn't quit early like Cousin Rick.
Plus, I was in Dakota's pants, so I could barely breathe.
Why were you wearing Dakota's
You were in
pants?
my pants?
Yeah, because I had to go to work or something.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
And you were told you needed to wear. I remember this now. You were told you had to wear. You were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And you didn't plan well.
Yep.
Because you have to wear long pants. So then I think Dakota brought you some.
Again, I thought it was an arcade go-kart.
Shorts are acceptable. Then.
Yes.
We're good to go.
Yep.
Oh man! All right, so we just did the Patreon segment of the show where all kinds of stuff happened. The landlord walked in. I thought we were in trouble, but instead he was just being a good dude. We talked a little bit about the Daytona 500. You can go back and listen to that and hear Chase's hot takes.
You can only listen to it if you are a Patreon member.
That's the deal.
To sign up to get that bonus content every single stinking week, you can go to patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty, and we post all of that there. We post show notes for each episode, so you get what we get. And we spend some time on that, throw some links in there for all the stories we're talking about.
Sometimes you spend more time than others. We noticed that there was a minor spelling error.
Two minor spelling errors.
Two? Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, Dakota.
What did he
Where
do,
did you
Joey?
find another one?
There's only one L in Mulinaro, man. It's
Oh, really?
it's a hard pull on that on the L, but there's only one.
Well,
That's terrible because I followed Dakota's listing when I wrote your name out.
it says at the title of the episode now.
Oh, now Dakota's got to go back and edit it.
It's all right.
So Joey and Ben Palizzi are the co-hosts of the Espresso podcast based in Indy.
Yep.
And you guys, it's really incredible how far you guys come. You just did episode 56.
Yes.
It's not episode. Shot 56.
Right, we play on the espresso card there, so it's shots. That's how we label them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys both work for Emmis. Rob Kendall was just here, another Emmis guy. I got to hang out in the Emmis studios. I didn't pop in. It was a real quick in and out deal. But I was in last week, and I was on Rob's show.
I love Rob Kendall.
A lot of fun.
Great guy.
And as I was explaining your media mogul empire, not just the podcast, it's the videos, the brilliant videos. I was showing off some of the Christmas video that Rob was in to producer Chris over here. What were your thoughts on all of the stuff?
Well, I didn't know him before he got here, but I got to say it, yeah. I'll probably be following just to watch him.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
I don't have a big following, but I might share one every now and again.
That's all right, man. Chris has been hammering me since I got here. He's like, I don't know who you are. Who are you? I have no idea who you are. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not doing good enough.
That way you remember me when you're famous, and you bring me along when you need another producer.
So basically what happened is that after Rob Kendall was here, Rob was so complimentary of Guffey, like being so helpful and doing everything. Guffey thinks that he's got a future in this now. So he thinks
I'm trying to pawn myself off.
His way to the top, though, is to just cut you off at the knees. You're just going to make fun of Joey.
I'm used to it.
It's just unfair.
You know, I mean, hey, I got a fiance. You know what it's like. That's just life now.
It's a wonderful, wonderful life. I've no complaints whatsoever.
Really? You told me it sucked.
He said, that's right. He did say he never gets to go
Dakota
fishing
said it was
anymore.
the greatest thing in the world, but you said it sucked. Don't do it, Chase.
I forgot that
said,
Dakota's like 20 and he's been married for like 6 years.
Dakota's been married longer than any of us. We're all
23.
hoping.
I've been married for a year and a half. In case you're wondering.
35,
the accuracy is important.
35, been married,
but
I don't know, 7 months.
Anyway, we got way off track here.
No baby yet, so it's not been 9 months. I don't
Thank you to our Patreon.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, my God.
I want to do the second and third name on the list.
Okay.
On the thank you list.
All right. So we talked about the Patreon for a minute. We also have an Amazon wish list. The Amazon wish list is where we put some equipment upgrades that we need. If you want to help out the show, then you can go to Amazon.com and search for pages and search for Boss Hog of Liberty, and you will find us. And that's where we put anything we need. And you guys have helped us out greatly, and we are very appreciative of that. Thank you to our $50 and up Patreon members.
If you want to do just 2 of the names, you're going to do all of the names.
No,
Chase.
I want to do 2 of them.
All of
okay.
them.
Number 1 is Christopher Bilbrey.
Number 2, Brantley Spicer.
Nice.
Number 3, fuck you, Christy.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Way to say thank you.
How many Budweisers that are produced by 100% renewable energy have you had?
A half of one.
John
A half
Phillips,
of
thank
one.
you very much. And Craig DaCosta, listening from Hawaii. Amazing to have your support. Christy
And-
just got to tour the Boss Hog Studios. She was here last week for Thanksgiving.
Oh, Chris.
For the Valentine's Day episode.
Christy knows. She knows she has a special place in my heart.
But she was at Bob and Tom this week. Did you see that?
Was she?
Yes, she was. She was a VIP.
She trolled Chris Spangle and brought him a happy birthday cake.
I did see the cake. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was neat.
She
So
showed up at his work. She's such a troll or such a stalker. She spent money and bought a tour of that place and then gave him a birthday cake. Best, worst person ever.
earlier this week, producer Chris Guffey went on the Facebook page and he broke some news for the city of Newcastle, right? And I guess all of Henry County because it was a county board decision. And that is that the Newcastle primary has been canceled. So the Newcastle Henry County Election Board decided to cancel the primary election that would happen in May because there are no contested races after the filing deadline. Right?
Yeah, that's
Did I get
true.
that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We put on the Facebook page that it would save $90,000. Mark Koger, city councilman for
District
Ward
5 and the president.
Yes, he actually corrected us. He said that the budget overall for the primary and the general election is less than $100,000, which is probably where we got the $90,000. But the primary would have cost about $30,000.
Hey, all I'm saying is sometimes when you're breaking news stories, you don't get the exact numbers right.
So being first.
You got to
You got to
step
be
it back.
the first one there.
Yeah.
As long as you're first, you can step it back.
Now, what you need to do is like the guys on Espresso do, though, and you need to break the news next time on camera in the TV anchor voice.
Yeah. Come on.
Yes.
If you're breaking news, you got to bring out the news person.
Today
know if I
we
have
heard that the Newcastle Henry County Election Board has canceled the primary election.
Right in the middle of the city council meeting. Breaking
Yes.
news from the Boss Hog
Reportedly
of
saving
Liberty.
$90,000. Big day for Henry County.
I just
You
want
did
to say,
that so much better than me.
I
You
just
have more
want to say I
practice.
apologize, Kristen. I didn't know your 4-year-old was listening.
It's Kirsten.
Oh my
You guys
god!
always get her name wrong.
Okay,
She pays us monthly and you can't even pronounce her name right.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like 3 Budweiser's head. It's
Are you off a little bit? Did something happen to you tonight?
been a stressful day. We'll get to it later.
No, let's do it
Yeah,
now.
it's going to be his final
what-
thoughts.
Okay.
You have to stick around to the end of the episode to hear what
You
happened.
just look
to
very
Chase.
disheveled. I'm worried.
Plug.
It's been a long week.
So, Chris, you
Yes.
were the one that told us officially that the primary election had been canceled.
That's correct.
Did you hear anything about what the money might be used for? We're saving $30,000 because of this. Are they going to wait until after the general election? Have you heard anything?
The only thing that I've heard is that it's gonna that they think they're not really sure what's going to happen to it. They think it's going to go back into the general fund.
Now, the county has an $18,000 bill that they said they're not going to pay because they don't have any money.
That's correct, but they probably still won't pay that. And the actual
They voted no.
They did vote no, but at the city council meeting, the EPR Planning Commission, whatever, Eastern Indiana
Regional Planning Commission.
Yes, they came in
EIR.
and talked to the city council, and the city council is very much on board on joining, but you can't join without the county, and the city's, I think, looking into paying their portion. That's 40
Yep.
cents per capita.
Yep.
So they're looking to pay their $7,000 and some change. But
And that was County Council President Susan Hoon said that she was the deciding vote of whether or not we would spend the money to join the Eastern Indiana Planning Commission.
But it's already budgeted, so how do we not?
Well, and
We're just not going to release the funds, I guess.
it's just because we have a new council. They're seeing the fiscal array that our council is in and our county is in. So they want to start making changes. I totally respect the decision to say no. If you're looking at it from a fiscal responsibility standpoint.
Yeah, but you still have to look forward. Like look forward. You can't just be like, well,
right.
Can't do it now.
I totally understand that too. And I think that it would be a good idea to join the Eastern Indiana Planning Commission. But she said that when she was deciding whether or not she wanted to join, she had tried. She thought that if we need to join this, then before I vote yes, I want to hear input from the municipalities and the towns that are inside the county. So Knightstown, Middletown, Spiceland, the city of Newcastle, other places like that. She wanted some input before she voted yes.
Well,
and I respect that decision totally.
And that's really funny because as far as I know, the county has not asked the city council for anything.
No, and that's what she said, was that after she heard this and after she heard that they were interested in funding and they were talking about funding their portion of this bill of the $18,000, she said, this is very interesting development for me, and I want to talk to some of the council members and the mayor himself and rethink this vote.
The story will continue. The interesting thing there is...
You go ahead.
No. You had a thought. This is rare. Come on, bring it.
It's pretty deep. If we never had primaries, our county would be pretty rich, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd save.
We never had elections.
You'd save almost $100,000.
Commissioner
every
Kronk
4-year
could
cycle.
be the dictator of the county.
I think what we should do is
we just elect one person, and they are the executive for life.
No, we have terms, but at the end of the term, we have one night like the purge, and the week before, everyone puts their names in a hat, and those people are in the purge. Who's ever left standing.
So you're describing the Hunger Games, right? Is that
yes, the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Whoever
Henry County Hunger Games.
Whoever is left standing is president of the county.
Whoever the people of the county decide to not kill.
Yes.
We could get...
And then we get to build an arcade.
For some reason, Chase, I feel like that might
How about the loser gets
even
relegated?
More costly than a primary.
How about the loser just gets relegated to pothole duty for the next 4 years?
They'd be working 24/7.
Well, see, the problem with that idea is that we would have even less people seeking public office than what we do now. And right now we have so few people seeking public office, we have to cancel a primary.
So we had
but most of the old people would be dead.
There were like 5 people running against Aaron Dickin last time. He slayed the competition, won his county council seat.
Of course he did. It's Aaron Dickin.
And now he's got nobody challenging him.
He's got them all scared.
Do you think his last name has anything to do with that?
I'm picking Dickin. It's a pretty good slogan.
The slogan, yeah. I mean, it just kind of seems like, you're a little inferior when you're going up against Dickin.
I do enjoy when people come from out of town and don't know who the characters are. We talk about them.
That's good.
And then he gets to jump in because you don't know how much fun we have with these people on the regular. It's like they're a part of the show whether we have them on or not.
Yeah. Do you have any enemies?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Yeah, Darren Jacobs. Yeah.
I know, like Rob Kendall, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
He has enemies.
Rob calls me Lion Jer sometimes. But
he's got a name for everybody, man.
He's got some big
Trump
enemies.
nicknames. The
enemies in
Trumpisms.
high places.
Yeah, he does. There's this guy I work with. His name's Nick. Every day he sees him. Oh, no show, Nick. Surprised you showed up today, Nick. It's funny, but he's a good guy. Anyways,
so one of the other things I wanted to talk about was why are there so few people that are interested in contesting these races? I think that
probably because of the spotlight that you give them.
Well,
4 years ago, this show didn't exist, and you could just skate by. Now, Guffey's going to show up and put a microphone in their face and ask them what they think.
Sure am.
I was going to say
meeting.
the more optimistic answer for that question would be that people are confident and they're happy with the direction that Mayor York and the council are taking us. So they aren't interested in running because they think that they're doing a good job.
I have better.
But obviously that's not true. Just jump on Citizens of Henry County.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what's happening in Newcastle, Indiana.
Watch them people
when you attend
bad.
so the way, Joey, you said you're a West Wing fan.
Yes, big time.
So the way that city governments work in Indiana, you have an extremely powerful mayor, and then you have a city council that is like I'm getting the very focused look from Joey, and it's cracking me up. Oh yes, go on. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
go on. I'll fix my glasses. Tell me
Yes.
more.
So you have a super strong mayor, and then you have like 7 city council people who are part-time. And my mother-in-law's here. What are you pointing at?
I was drawing something, and then
Chase.
I realized it looked like a penis. So then I was like, before anyone notices, I'm going to scribble this out.
It was a Freudian slip, is what that was.
It's just super bad dick drawings over here from Chase. So you've got like
Watch your mouth. It's a family show.
bastard.
I'm the problem.
Yeah, now Kirsten's a 4-year-old is going to be asking what that means.
Can I please watch Superbad, Mom? It's a great film.
All right, so mayor, 7 city council.
Mayor, 7 city council people, and it's like they're all part time. They have day jobs, so they don't really get
Because
involved.
they get paid jack squat.
because they make like
$625 a month.
Let's see. Would
That's
you
what
rather
you've looked into it?
Would you rather run the county or would you rather play Fortnite? I'd rather play Fortnite.
Fortnite sucks.
So
Have you tried that new one? What is it, like Apex or
Apex
something?
Legends.
I
Yes.
like that one. I'm
It's a
getting into
good one.
that.
Can you do
I
the dance? Can you do the dance?
No. I've
Scissor?
tried.
until I finish this
I
segment,
really
I'm taking
suck at it. The flossing dance?
this one is empty.
Yeah.
No, not floss.
There's-
Like the
There's all kinds of them.
there's a different one.
Oh, no.
Crazy.
I've attempted it, but like here's my flossing.
This is the whitest podcast ever.
This makes for great radio.
I told some people this morning. I think I told every group chat I'm in. I've never felt so white as when my cousin got announced this morning as a high school lacrosse coach, as the head
Yeah,
coach,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, this
Hey.
is Morrell.
This is the peak of
So-
being white.
This is peak whiteness.
So, Kirsten, to make you feel any better, whenever I was a little kid, my grandmother told me that my mom pronounced her S's as F's. So whenever she went to the bank, she asked for fuckers, and I didn't know what that meant. So whenever my mom and I went to the bank, I started making fun of my mom in front of the bank tellers. And I had to have a serious talking to from my father as to why that wasn't appropriate.
All right. For the last time, I'm going to try to finish explaining why nobody wants to run
7
for city
yeah,
council.
yeah.
Okay, so you got 7 city council people. They listen to what's wrong with the city, but they can't do much. They set policy, and they have some influence over spending, but the mayor really calls the shots. So what happens is you end up with city council people that get very frustrated. They say their piece. The mayor is at their meetings. The mayor, a lot of times, gets into a shouting match with the city council people, and nothing happens. So I think what's happened...
It's a lot like the federal government.
I think
of gridlock.
I think what's happened is
Big
you've got
word.
people that realize that they can't be super effective on the council right now the way it's set, and nobody really feels like they can beat the mayor because we have a very strong Democrat Party, one-party rule in the city limits in Newcastle. There's only one Republican that's elected citywide at all, and every other seat's held by a Democrat.
Really?
Much like in our county, every single elected person in the county is a Republican.
Ah.
So in the rural area, it's very Republican, and here we're a UAW town, and the numbers just skew towards the Democratic Party. So in both cases, if you want to get elected, generally speaking, you end up running as one of those, whether you're really a Republican or not,
Yeah.
or really a Democrat or not. If you're practical, you generally do that. And then what happens is you have an uncontested election unless you get
And
libertarians
you
or third-party
save
people.
a bunch of money.
And this time, they just, the citizens just didn't want to have to do the work or didn't have the interest in doing it. We just came off of an election. The county council, county commissioners races, we just finished them. So a lot of the people that would have run previously or thought about running, we just came through a cycle, right? So people are tired. And you got to gear up again and get going. So,
Yeah,
we
and
finished in November, and it's
it's true,
time to
and
file,
It
too,
never
right after
ends.
Christmas.
I know that one thing that Christopher Bilbrey, who is one of our Patreon members that we thanked at the very beginning of the show, commented on it and said that there must be a problem with the Democrat and Republican Party chairs. And I want to say, as a chair of the Libertarian Party of Henry County, It is super difficult to get people to run for office.
Recruiting candidates is the number one job of a county chairperson, and it's tough.
Hard.
Who do you go after? Like who's the who's
you just start looking through names that have been active.
You get the
in
white
other
pages
campaigns.
and start at the A's and just start dialing.
Well, I just didn't know.
no,
Like,
it's like
in every TV show, they're like, "Oh, he's young and good looking, and he can speak well. We should use him."
the way that I've done it is much more relaxed than that. I've looked at people who have joined the party, who have expressed interest, who have worked on campaigns in the past, who've showed up to meetings and things, and that's who I start with. I go, I'm like, all right, where do they live? They live within city limits. All right, what ward do you live in, Chris Guffey? What ward do you live in?
Ward 2, 3.
And so I'm like, Chris Guffey, you live in Ward 3. That's Jerry Walton's seat.
Yep.
And
Congratulations, Chris. Jerry's now your mortal enemy.
Go
beat him in November.
Yeah. I'm
217.
like, would you be interested in running for office? I really think that you would have a good chance. There's only this many people that voted in the last election, and 9 times out of 9, you get told, absolutely not. I'm in no way, shape, or form interested in running for office. Then you go, okay, move on to the next guy, and then occasionally you get a few people who are very interested in running at first, and then whenever you follow up with them, hey, our nomination is coming up. Our convention where we vote for you to run for office is in a month. You still interested like you said you were? No, I don't think I can.
Swipe it right under your feet.
Like, all right.
You get left at the altar a lot, don't you?
Yeah, it happens. You get very, very acquainted with dealing with rejection.
Are you going to run?
I can't. I don't live within city limits anymore.
Ooh,
I would have been running against Mark Koger, who we were just talking about. And we had been teasing it for like a year.
He's the pit bull of the council.
We've been teasing it so much that Mark heard a rumor while he was getting his haircut that I was going to run against him.
Just small town politics.
That's the goal of this show. And then I move out of the city limits, so that sucks.
You moved to Spiceland Township. Look out, county election 2020.
Oh, that means Susan Hoon.
Never know.
Never know.
No, it's Susan to be 2022.
Yeah, she would be.
Who knows?
I would have to run at large or as commissioner.
Or for
commissioner in the
state
South?
rep. Yeah, you never know.
So,
A
Joey,
lot of options.
Yeah,
you do the Espresso podcast.
sure.
Who's the coolest guest you've ever had on? Like, has there ever been a guest that you're like, I can't believe I'm talking to this person?
Yeah, we've had a pretty good run with guests. We've had Pat McAfee from the Colts, formerly of the Colts, now Pat McAfee Show, I guess. Jeff Brom, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Pretty cool.
Murphy Lee, which Jeremiah, I think, is still trying to figure out who that is.
Yeah, I have no
he's
clue.
he's part of the.
There's a blank look on my face
The Saint
still.
Lunatics with like Nelly and early 2000s rap. He's our boy. He's been on a couple times, and when he comes to Indy, he wants to meet up and do a show again. So found on him. We had on Reese Horn this past week. He's a Cathedral grad, UIndy grad. He plays in the AAF now for the Memphis. Good Lord, Memphis Express. So we try to do like what you guys do, like try to get some local ties. Yep. But yeah, we've had a pretty solid run. Connor Daly, we've had Connor Daly on.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah. Kirk Barron, we've interviewed Victor Oladipo. So
You got Victor on.
well, not on the
You
show.
you guys
but we
stopped
got
by
video.
and saw him. Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
remember
said
that.
he would do it.
or after the injury?
It was in the summer, so it was not because of us. But yeah, it was
You
in the
cursed
summer,
him.
and he was a little hesitant, man. He was he had a couple of his handlers come up and were like, "Hey, what kind of questions are we asking? What are we talking about here?" And we're like, "I don't know, dude. We're just asking him like what his favorite Pop Tart is. Like it's nothing crazy." So no, we've had a pretty good run at it. Yeah,
We had the most nervous somebody's been was the first time we had Tom Saunders on, our state representative, and we sent him kind of the show notes, the guideline, and he sent it to like their press person, and they Googled us, and they're like, Jeremiah ran against you, and they're like, are you sure? And John was like, well, yeah, but he also volunteered for my campaign, so it's a wash or whatever. So that was a fun. That was a fun one.
That's what's like kind of similar to that. Is a lot of times what will happen is that we'll get somebody and we'll go through their PR person for that team or that university or whatever, and they'll dial us up and we'll answer the phone and be like, like Ryan Kerrigan from the Washington Redskins, for
Whoa,
example.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big Redskin fan over here.
Oh, Muncie Central up into the Purdue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we had him on this past year right before they played the Colts. But he was awesome. And he was like, example for that is that when we answered the phone, we were like, Ryan, what up? And then they were like, hey, this is Tom Savage from the PR team. So we're like, okay. So they got like the PR people right there by him. So it's kind of tough to get freaky with him, get fun a little bit.
Kerrigan's dad used to, I don't know if he still does, bowl down here at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, nice.
For real. Yeah.
I saw
Was
the
he-
Rose Bowl. Thanks, man.
Was he any good?
I don't know. I never bowled against him.
Ryan was awesome, though, on the show.
I took a screenshot of a post from your profile on Facebook from 2013,
How much creeping have you been doing
and
there?
it said something for cash. I don't know, but it was from the Rose Bowl.
Chase the cash, yeah.
Chase the cash.
You
Yeah.
can't remember Chase?
No,
This is really obvious.
pretty forgettable word.
This is really obvious to ask, but does the Rose Bowl have a huge bash on the Rose Bowl day, like the day of the Rose Bowl game?
No. No.
So Newcastle is the Rose City.
Yeah.
This is local history here.
Perfect, man.
We were there used to be, it's been a long time ago, the tornado took it away from us. There were these ridiculous 4-foot long roses that were grown here in greenhouses in Newcastle. Like this is talking 80, 90, 100 years ago. So there were 25 businesses in town that were called Rose City something. And there was Rose City Packing, and there's still the Rose Bowl and other
Technically, it's
things.
Rose City Bowl.
The Rose, yeah, exactly, the Rose City Bowl.
Okay.
So anyway, but we were known all over the world. They were ridiculously fancy, or whatever. It's gone now, but
Big roses.
but that still is a part of the legacy. Of
Did
the town.
something happen?
Yeah, there was a tornado. 18 people died, and all the greenhouses were destroyed, and then the family moved on, and that was that.
R.I.P.
Yes.
R.I.P.
So Joey,
Well, moving on.
have you ever had a guest that just didn't turn out well?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Where are you going with this, Chase?
I was going to say, am I that guest? What's going on here? Well, because I got to tell you, you're
Chase
sucking
is,
right now.
I feel like
wondering.
Chase is breaking up with you.
I was just wondering because you do this a lot, and I was trying to get you to name a name. That way he could feel bad if he was listening to this. But okay, go on.
No, you don't want to. You
Listen,
don't want
Jeff
to
Brom is not listening.
call
okay?
people. I enjoyed him. We got 15 minutes out of Coach.
You was great. You basically, I mean, he called in from his office, and it was phenomenal. Actually.
Yeah, it was so funny because he answers, "Hey, this is Coach Jeff Brom from Purdue," and we're like, "Just calm down, guy. Yeah, right? It's not that serious. This isn't the CIA." But when you have a bad guest like that, man, oh my gosh! I mean, I'm sure you guys know how that is. You just got to kind of.
We've had some guests where it is a lot of work.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say it turns into work. Very
Pulling stuff
quickly.
out of them.
We have a lot of
Okay.
chase.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm on the show, so
One of the other toughest episodes we ever did was the Ghost Pepper episode when Dakota quit on me halfway
oh my
through.
Gosh,
Straight Nirvana.
Whenever I get in serious pain, I stop. My brain stops
What's your safety word?
functioning.
more.
Don't even. I'm going to say, what's the safety word?
We have to ask Miss Davis. Okay. Yeah.
It's top secret information.
Wow.
I have to pry that under my cold, dead hands.
All right, let's.
Bench made knives.
What is that about? You've been very upset over knives for days. You and Cade in our chat have been talking about.
Okay, so bench made knives. Have you ever heard of that company?
No,
Sure
This
have.
is just going to be really quick.
I carried one overseas.
Okay, yeah.
Back when you fought the war.
Back when I fought the war.
So my daily carry is a Kershaw knife because I'm really tough on them. But then I have a Benchmade set that I use for skinning animals that I've
Such
killed.
a man's man.
And Benchmade makes really good knives. They're actually one of the few mass-produced knives that you can get that's actually heat tempered, which makes the steel a lot tougher. And so anyway, Benchmade is a really popular knife brand amongst men that use knives. And
women.
They were tagged
Sexist.
in a tweet from a police force that said, "Shout out to Benchmade Knives. Thank you for letting us use your equipment to help destroy these guns." Right? So this police department had some guns that were ordered to be destroyed, and they reached out to Benchmade and they said, "Hey, can we use your specialty equipment?" that you have to make knives to destroy these guns because we don't have this equipment available to us. And Benchmade was like, yeah, sure, we're a supporter of law enforcement, so come down and you can use our saws and grinders and stuff to destroy these guns. Well, the Second Amendment hardcore, like 3%er type community just absolutely blew up, got super upset, saying that Benchmade Knives is now anti-Second Amendment, they're anti-gun. Some people pulled some campaign contributions that Benchmade has made towards Democrat candidates. They left out all the Republican candidates that they have made contributions to as well.
Twitter makes outrage way too easy.
Yeah, so they this whole community has been in outrage about it. Our outrage culture has struck. These snowflakes on the right have done their work and basically have been called for boycotting Benchmade Knives because of all this. And it turns out that all of the guns that they were destroying were ordered by the court to be destroyed because they had been used in felonies. And you can't resell a gun that's been used in a felony because anyone that works with guns knows that there are individual barrel markers that a gun leaves on a bullet. So if they were to sell these to the public, then all of a sudden a member of the public
felony
exactly has a gun been used in a felony.
Learn that the hard way.
So they need to be destroyed.
All right.
The police, they don't have the equipment.
Duly noted. A lot of times they just take them to a rebar mill and they throw them in, and that turns into steel.
Recycling.
You do it all the time. All right, so we've been watching the Indiana State House.
Yes.
And they last week I was all up in arms over vaping, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't remember
You don't
anymore.
vape, bro?
I was defending the vapors, man.
You don't vape, bro.
I was defending them, and there was a ridiculous tax that the House passed. This time, Dakota, with you're Mr. Energy over here.
Actually, electricity sounds more like wow. In case you're wondering.
Impressions with Dakota.
Yes. That was a pretty good impression, too.
So you've been talking, you wanted to put solar panels on your roof. You talked
Yes.
about it. You kicked that around. Then you bought a different house anyway. So what's going on and why do we care?
Well,
And
the new
what's
house is
government
the one
ruining?
I wanted to put solar panels on. I actually got some quotes to get it done, and I thought about it for a long time, and I went on, found out that it could happen. Realized that Indiana, the state of Indiana, doesn't have incentives for people to get solar panels put on, and the federal government, their incentives are running out in I think 2020. It's either 2020 or 2021.
So you want a kickback? You want to be subsidized?
Well, I'm like, if you're going to do it, then do it before the federal incentive runs out, right? Because, I mean, you're saving money that
you
way.
want to steal Joey and
It's only in a
money?
couple of years.
Does it
And-
really
That's their
work?
tax dollars.
What?
Solar panel.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like if you just have those black shiny things on top of your house, like
well,
that
there,
really,
there's a few stipulations that have to come with it. Obviously, in the state of Indiana, because we're in the northern hemisphere, then the sun is kind of towards the south, which you might notice on any given day, especially in the wintertime, that the sun is more south.
I was wondering why.
Yeah, well, because we're in the northern hemisphere. So you need a roof pitch that would allow for the appropriate amount of solar panels to be positioned towards the sun at any given time. And basically what you would do is you would have the solar panels there, but you would also have a traditional service hooked up to your house because solar is not a very efficient form of generation. So like 75% of the time you would break even on your electric bill, right?
Okay.
It's pretty efficient, but it's not 100%. And you would have a battery backup installed as well to give you some extra juice and to be able to store some of this power. But I got to wondering why Indiana doesn't have solar incentives, and it turns out that we did. In the past, we have had solar incentives. But in 2017, the Republican legislature decided that we didn't need that anymore and passed Senate Bill number 309, which did away with our incentive.
So I thought the incentive was the net metering. Net metering was
Yes.
the big thing. So that was, if you're tied into the electric utility, it was you use this much electricity from us, but you gave this much back. So we're going to say you generated 200 kilowatts and you use 300 kilowatts. You're only going to bill for 100.
Yeah, but we're not the utility is not getting anything off of what a person goes over. They're not putting that back onto the grid
doesn't
necessarily.
run back the other way.
It's not. It doesn't work that way. Electrons, they don't flow on wire like it's a 2-lane highway. It's one way or the other.
So where do they go, Mr. Engineer?
So basically, whatever isn't being put into your batteries, your meter is seen, and basically your meter is spinning backwards.
But the utility doesn't actually get to.
But we're not getting that
else.
unless we hook up a separate transformer and a separate line that would actually put it back on to the system, right? So
how much does that cost?
And the person that has it would be paying for all of that cost too. And you're never going to break even on that. It's going to be thousands of dollars.
So you think the net metering law change was appropriate?
I do. I think that net metering is a horrible law.
And it's a
net
law.
Metering,
it's not a policy. It's actually a law state by state.
So basically what net metering does is the state says, listen, they produce this much more electricity that could have been put on your grid. Therefore, you have to buy it back from them, right? So you have to, and the state is forcing the utility company, whether it be a municipal, a co-op, or a private utility, and they say you are buying this back from them at the premium rate at which you sell it to specific consumers, right? Because there's different rates for different consumers. So like Grady Factory doesn't pay the same amount per kilowatt that you and I pay.
The people that use a significant amount more electricity get it at a cheaper unit, or they have a power agreement ahead of time.
We would, and the point I want to make about this is we would never, as a citizenry, consent to the government telling that to any other business of any type. We wouldn't say, hey, Lowe's, Menards, and Gilman's, you have to buy this extra lumber that the lumber mill produced because, they provided it. And by the way, you have to buy it at the cost that you sell it to people at. That would never happen.
The tricky part is that we've decided that utilities get treated differently,
right?
Because it doesn't make
as
sense
a society
as a whole
that.
For you to have 3 different companies run electricity by your house, so that you can choose from Duke, REMC, or Dakota's Juice Co. You're assigned to somebody, and that's who you have. So then the state gets involved, and that's where you have the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and they make the rules, right?
Right. Yeah, but I think net metering is bad law, 100%. There are other states that have different incentives for solar power or personal use wind farms.
Chase is really working hard over here.
Yeah,
He's almost got his entire paper filled back in black.
Listen, I'm very focused right now.
I can tell. It's like a fidget spinner.
I just can't wait to see what sort of an offensive object you're drawing.
It was going to be a banana. It was a banana, and then I made it too big. Now I'm trying to figure out what to do with it.
So
Dakota and the Big Banana. That's going to be your children's book.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
It's a lie. I've seen it. It's slightly above average.
The average banana. Oh, my mic stand is falling off the
table. And Chase has seen
Uh-oh.
a lot of bananas.
It gets the job done banana.
All right.
We good over here?
There's always
Yeah,
money in the
you're
banana
good.
stand.
What do you do?
My mic stand is falling off the table.
So Joey's
It's not
here
on there,
to
right?
look at the studio and take notes, because there's a chance that at some point Espresso's going to have their own.
Yep.
I think he's learning about mic stands right now,
Yeah.
and consumer grade versus professional grade.
Seemed like a giant pain in the ass.
At the day job, these are new. We did the Juice in the Morning podcast. Have you done Juice in the Morning yet?
I think Ben has, maybe?
Yeah. So we did Juice, and every time we go to somebody else's studio, Dakota falls in love with something and has to have it.
Yep.
We last time you were here, we had the on table platform mics, and then we did Juice in the Morning, and Dakota's like, "Oh my god, we got to have those." But these are not perma-fixed to the table; they are clamp on. They're C clamps, and so
It does a job.
They work a lot better than the on the table ones, though.
These are cool, though.
yeah, I like having
They're
them.
legit.
The mic flags are what I was so
I
damn
was going to
excited
say,
about.
those are nice.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to our professional studio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It changes. I mean, if they didn't have mic flags, I'd be like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah,
But
this
the
is. I
mic
don't know what
flag-
show I'm on.
Yeah,
We're about to
exactly.
take it on the road.
The problem is going to be if we have multiple shows in here, and it's like, God dang it, we got to change the mic flags again.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
you have to rotate them.
Back to the solar power. Some states have different incentives. Some states, you get money off on your property taxes. Some states you have absolutely no property taxes at all. You don't have to pay property taxes if you use renewable power. And in some states you get just regular tax incentives. So like you wouldn't have to pay an income tax, or you get money off your income tax. A lot of states do have the net metering, which of course, as I said before, is a horrible law. Just either way you look at it, because I do like renewable energy. I think the government needs to get out of it for it to progress further in the market and to get more and more efficient. But I think that renewable energy as a whole is a very, very good thing. And another thing that happened was, like I said, the federal government, the incentive is running out in 2020. And then the Trump administration decided, whenever they were going on with the tariffs with China, because most of our solar panels are made out of silica, they were going to be taxing silica, or putting a tariff rather on silica solar panels of up to 30%, which has really, really hurt the solar industry as a whole. It's hurt them big time because the price of solar has just totally dropped over the years. Like, you could go on eBay right now and buy things to make your own solar panels to power your house if you wanted to put them in your yard for just a
Is
few
this more
bucks.
comfortable for you, Joey? If I
I'm
do this
way
link
more
thing?
comfortable.
Dude, yeah, man. That's what I'm used to.
I was going to say I was watching the videos earlier, and it
That's what
seems
I'm
like
used to.
your co-host has.
Have you been doing yoga? Have you been stretching?
I've got my new.
It's pretty flexible,
I got my
man.
American Eagle stretchy pants, so I can do this now. Yeah.
That's what helps.
Oh, I was going to give a shout out at the end of the show to American Eagle for making the most comfortable men's jeans. Literally, I got a new pair this past weekend.
And you got the next level flex.
Is this
didn't
them?
you?
Oh my gosh,
You're right,
I
man.
love them.
Those aren't them.
Why is there glitter all over your pants?
Those aren't them.
That's a good
He
question.
bought the next level flex, which are like leggings. They're
Hey,
crazy.
so real
These
quick-
aren't them.
Do you hear that?
I got the headphones on. Yeah. Nice.
Those are my jeans.
So
Can you power like other things besides your house? Like, how small can we use the solar power here for?
you can use solar to.
What?
You could have
Forgive my
dedicated.
ignorance, but I
No.
only see the ones out in farms and on tops of houses.
I've got
Like,
No, for sure.
I use solar
Could you power
at my
something
pool.
about this big?
So
I've got a bunch
Yeah.
of solar lights in my backyard for the pool.
as
Okay.
a,
And
a matter of fact,
they do a great
yeah,
job.
You have solar lights. I have a bug out bag that I have in case of emergencies, and I have
Where would you go?
I have a. That is secret. I'm not. That's more secret than the safe word.
I was gonna say.
Dunkel. It's Dunkel.
I got pretty serious with that one. No, you can't know that. Audrey is the only person in the world that knows the location, the bug out location.
Not even your
And-
dad?
No, one person.
It's the Muncie Target.
And I have one piece of equipment I have is a solar generator. It's a little generator that has an emergency radio, flashlight, and also a couple of USB ports so that you can power some things off of it.
You want to make okay? So
And it has a backup crank, so you can power stuff by turning a handle. Which,
all right.
as
that's
we've
kind of the
covered,
opposite way I was wanting to go.
as we've talked, we've talked about on the show before, the only thing you need to produce electricity is magnetism, motion, and a conductor, right?
Yes.
So what
Yes.
I'm thinking
So there's
is,
your AC theory.
You mentioned your pool, Jeremiah.
Yeah, buddy.
My folks have a pool as well, and so what always frustrates me is when I'm out there during the summer. One, it's tough to charge your phone from out there. Two, it gets overheated, and then you have to shut your phone down a little bit. We need to figure out a way to be able to use solar energy to be able to charge the phone, but not get it overheated.
So what I do,
Very easy.
This is the life I live.
I'd buy that.
That happens.
Is it really?
We have that now. Yes,
Oh, well,
we have the technology.
I have
this is a major breakthrough.
I have a nice.
Listen, I was going to invest.
Thank you.
I have a nice shady spot, and then for my birthday 2 years ago, I got Dakota to go in my crawl space and add a little power outlet by the pool.
Yep, I
Wow,
did.
you're a
So
crawl space.
I've got
guy.
it all.
You are a true man.
He's an electrician. Dakota is a man's man. There's no
Lord.
doubt. There's no doubt.
I just, yeah. I mean, honestly, like I said,
look at that beard.
I know.
He's had it since he was 9 years old.
He's very hairy.
I'm glad to know that.
Very
though,
hairy man.
because I literally didn't
I don't
know
have
that-
much hair on my back though. Like
No.
barely any hair on my
But
back.
his chest
good for-
looks like a bear.
I do.
Are we done
No,
buzzing on the electricity crap?
no. I have
Nice.
one more other thing.
I have
about here
serious
that I wanna
regret
cover.
about putting it in the show notes, but I knew you would totally nerd out on it.
Senate Bill number 403 was introduced this year in the Senate of Indiana, and it was to bring back net metering. So it was to bring back the incentive and cancel out Senate Bill 309 from 2017.
Jim Merritt said, I don't want to do that because I'm not convinced that there's a problem and that we
Correct.
caused it.
Yeah, and
The guy that's running for mayor of Indianapolis. He might be your guy. Probably your senator
true.
now.
Never heard of it.
I do think that taking away any and all incentive did help decline the solar industry in Indiana. But I think that the fact that there's a 30% tariff on them also helped. But I think that we will get to a point where none of this is going to matter because the price of solar technology keeps declining so rapidly. And the amount of jobs that are in the solar field keeps increasing.
And the batteries get
just
better.
this past year, I was offered a job as a solar technician. Called personally because they need solar techs that bad. So I don't think that we have a need for incentives.
I mean, you're a professional. They've not called me or Chase or Guffey, so
That's
it's not
true.
like they're just picking randoms.
and I did know the
You
person.
are a known quantity.
I did know him personally, so it is a little bit different. But they're even offering it now in standard union electrician training. It's a 5th year level apprentice course of learning how to install and wire up solar panels and batteries for storage.
It's like Tesla power, though, man. It's all DC. Isn't that
Well,
good?
yeah, but
Isn't that
an
riskier?
inverter is very easy. Nah, not risky at all. Very safe. Very safe. The best in the world.
I'd smoke.
Indiana.
I'd smoke weed with Elon.
Indiana has the best solar. The 30% tariff has no effect.
All right. We
Is
are
that your
finally.
Trump?
Yeah. The fact that you had to ask is very insulting, Joey.
No, that was his Rob Kendall. I'm sad.
Lion Jer.
All right. We are finally to the part of the show that matters.
Blind Jared.
Finally to the part of the show that matters.
An hour in.
So, before we get started, are both of you Purdue fans?
I am.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not really a Purdue fan, but I partied up there.
It's fun. Where'd you go?
Jake's, where else?
love
Harry's,
Jake's.
Neon Cactus. I actually did the bar crawl.
He went
for
to
my
Afghanistan.
21st
He didn't go to college. Thanks
for
for
my
bringing it up.
21st birthday. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you
Yeah.
for your service.
Well, I got asked to leave Harry's because I did that was the last place. So I forget what strip club it was, but I hit the strip club first, and then I hit Neon Cactus, then Jake's, where else, then Brothers, and
What would you rate?
How great is Harry's, though, man? I mean, it's just...
the strip club?
no.
Harry's chocolate shop.
No, it is. And then
I just
so
thought it was
that the
hilarious
last
if a
place I
strip
went,
club was named Harry's.
and they put like Tabasco sauce in it. So I took half the shot, then I finished the shot, and then I was like, "Oh God!"
No, yeah.
Bathroom, throwing up. Guy, the bouncer, or the bartender, somebody walked in. I was pissed drunk, and he goes, "Hey man," I was like, "Listen, I just got back from Afghanistan.
Oh.
If you got to pee, go ahead and go. It ain't gonna bother me." He goes, "Nah, man, I work here. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." I was like, "Hold on, let me clean up a little bit."
Actually, the night that I got engaged, me and RC and a bunch of her friends went to Harry's, and I did the exact same thing, man. So I know your pain. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yep. For sure.
I've only partied at IU, never at Purdue.
And never at Ball State.
I have partied at Ball State, yes, but never at Purdue.
With your sister.
And my parents.
And me. Yeah. All right. So this was IU Purdue basketball week down at Assembly Hall. It made the news, so that's why it made the show. I was in Louisville at the Drakes after work, so I was unable to listen. If you ever try to watch a Big Ten game in Kentucky, you get the Kentucky sound. You don't get you get the Louisville game, you get the Kentucky game, you get whatever the hell the SEC
really
thing
care,
is.
yeah.
They don't care about you at all. You get the tiny screen. It's like being in a third-rate world.
Yeah.
So I watched the game, and it's like 20-10 at halftime. It was just terribly.
It was 20 all. It was
20
at
all.
20.
Yeah, it was at one point it was 20-10, and then it was 20 all. I
Yeah.
guess at the half. It was totally low scoring, but the sound was off, so it was just like on in the background. Do you need another beer, buddy?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I have to drive later. we're almost to final thoughts, so I better sober up in the next 10 minutes. I've already gotten pulled over once today.
That story's coming up, folks. So I didn't get to listen to the game or hear what's going on, but I see all of these stories after that the fans were just like horrifying down at Assembly Hall. I assume it was a student section, Joey?
Yeah, you
Okay.
could definitely hear it.
Oh, like on the game broadcast?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'd say they were good fans.
All right.
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
you-
Were they like
the
Center
point-
Grove? Was it
what-
Center Grove or Beach Grove? Which high school did
What
this?
were they saying, Jer?
It looks like Cluck You Harms, but I don't know what Dakota was writing.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. They
Kirsten.
They had that.
It's Kirsten, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
She sent her kid to bed. It's fuck you, Harms. Okay? You don't think that's good
No.
for our fan
Nah.
base? That's crazy. I want my fan base saying
Now,
that.
you got to be able to toe the line a little bit.
no,
gotta be able to-
that's perfect.
Individually, fine.
You're celebrating the student athletes.
No, that's perfect. That's how you want your fan base to be. I grew up a Yankees fan, okay? So I grew up with the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, where I wish half the players on the Red Sox, I wish their airplane would crash. Okay?
How do you feel about Johnny Damon, though? Which Johnny Damon do you love?
Fuck Johnny Damon.
Whoa.
Four F-bombs in this show.
Screw Johnny Damon, okay?
Three
Chase
from
is-
Chase, one from me.
Chase is really
Yeah,
working
that-
on a new
You
character.
surprised me, man.
Yeah. Well, you know,
So-
I was saying it because I
No.
said it as a child. I had to put it in the context.
If you're a real
Context
fan,
matters.
You're going to be in the stands and you're going to be saying F Harms.
Okay, right. But
I don't know who Harms is.
individually,
Matt Harms.
They
is
I
the
would have
center.
never said that.
They didn't say, "Hey Harms, you should go jump off the roof." You know, jump off a
That's
cliff.
a
I hope
horrible
you die.
thing to say to
no,
a
they
person.
said, "F you, Harms."
Listen, man.
F you.
This is a college student that gets no money. He gets no money
He's going to make money.
for his labor for the use of his name.
So you-
he gets nothing from it
you
except
know-
for a college
You
experience.
know why this is great?
I've
okay?
never heard so much passion out of Dakota
And
over
people,
sports.
people
This is a
are-
breakthrough
are
moment.
getting so angry at
No,
him.
you know why
It's
this
wrong.
is great? Because if you've ever played sports and you're on the road, you want this to happen.
I have played sports. In no context would I've ever wanted people to scream this at me.
That's because you suck.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
See, hold on. Here's the thing: is that I get where you're coming from. Individually, you know that there was fans all over that place,
Yeah.
thinking, saying, screaming that exact thing. I do it from my living room when I'm watching the Steelers or I'm watching the Cubs. Hell, I do it from the games too. But when it's a collective thing,
You don't want the
it's
entire.
a bad look.
You
I
have a
think it's
cult
great.
of people.
You don't want the
I think
entire
it's
end
great.
zone screaming, chanting "Tom Brady swallows." I mean, like
No,
that's,
I think it's awesome, okay? Because, listen,
There was a time in this country
when you're a player...
whenever young men and young women
No.
went to sports
Hold
games to socialize with their pals and their buddies, and they didn't even think about partying afterwards and screaming profanity.
I'm an IU fan, okay?
I say let's go back to
when
those
you're a
days,
player-
the
it
50s
shows from
and
the
60s,
red and white
I'm
cups
sorry.
you brought.
whenever the women didn't cut their hair and they wore poodle skirts.
When you're... Okay, nerds, calm down. This is the sports time. Okay, when you're a player...
I'm totally
and
kidding.
someone's saying, F you, Harms, okay? I used F you. Are you proud of me, Jer?
You're going to be a broadcaster someday.
Okay. When they're saying F you, Harms, if they're booing you, if they're saying F you, that means you're a dominant player. You want that to happen. That's a sign of respect a little bit.
Okay, yeah, and I hear you because I tweeted out, I said, I hope that he flips off all them MFs in there. Like after he hit that final shot,
Yeah.
that's perfect for Harms to just walk out of there, just birds of flying,
Listen.
baby.
Oh, no, it would
yeah,
be
right
sweet
back
for
at
him.
you. That would be great.
Yeah.
but
I don't think the
it-
situation should have escalated.
collectively, you know, and there has to be a line because people are going to throw back. Well, Purdue chants IU sucks at kickoff. Yeah, because IU does suck for one.
That's
so that's
true.
just a statement of fact. And two, there's a difference between saying IU sucks in a fun way as just like a kickoff chant compared to going individually at somebody.
At a student.
I think it's a sign of
agree.
respect. I
It's
mean,
the-
Plus, IU sucks is just what they say. It doesn't matter if they're playing Penn State or Michigan or whoever. It's just IU sucks.
It's the
Totally different.
individuality that makes it so
I
strange
think
for
it's
me.
great.
Right.
It happens all the time in sports. Happens all the time.
Collectively like that?
Yes. Is it worse because it's at a collegiate level? Would it be different if it was a pro level?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know.
Very different.
Because they're millionaires. That's why.
If I was Harms, I'd be happy about it. I mean, you saw.
Well, he tipped in the
Dakota-
game-winning shot.
He didn't seem so happy whenever I listened
For
to him
one-
on the interview. He's like, my God, I didn't even know it was happening. And I was shocked whenever I listened to it later.
For one thing,
I'm like, God, I felt bad for that dude.
Fred
No,
Glass,
why would
Glass
you feel
called
bad
and
for him?
apologized.
I mean,
why
imagine,
would you feel bad for him? Let me
Because-
tell you, if
hold
I
on.
was that player, I'd use it as motivation. And
no, because
you can't tell me he didn't.
This is why I feel bad for him. He said he didn't hear it. He heard people chanting his name, but he didn't hear what was coming before it. And then the next day he wakes up and he sees his name in the news. And why does he see it? Because people were the biggest headline with his name in it was students screaming "F you, Harms." Like,
For one thing,
that's got to be like a knife in the gut.
He should have owned it because he would have looked like a total badass. For one thing, you hit the game-winning shot.
How do you own it if you don't know what's happening, though?
I don't know. How do you not know what's happening?
Because you're focused.
Yeah, but you're not. You're on the bench at some point. Your friends aren't saying, "Hey, man, they're screaming F you." How do you not hear it in that entire time? He had to hear it.
Here's the thing about
Why would he
going
lie,
with the
though?
students and saying that it was great and how it matters in terms of a look. Like you mentioned, Fred Glass, the AD at Indiana.
Yes.
Fred Glass. Let's say he's the father of the entire student body in terms of athletic wise, right? So when there's games going on, he's kind of the dad. If you walked in to a sporting event or to a local mire and your kids were all saying "F you," chant "F you" at somebody, you would probably say, "Hey, you know what? Let's tone it down a little
Yeah,
bit."
well,
It's
and
just a
also-
matter of like, look, it doesn't it doesn't look good.
If I was the athletic director, yeah, I'd be pissed. But as a fan, I love it.
And also for
I
the
love
same
it.
reason why we typically don't drop the F-bomb at the very beginning of this show is because what happened with Kirsten Kronk today and her 4-year-old son
I guess-
heard you say F you, Christy,
Rivalries are what makes the
and
sports
they could
great.
hear it on TV,
But-
and there's children
But
watching.
The rivalry is IU sucks. The personal kind of just odd obsession,
agree.
vendetta,
And
of the
the
FU
individuality.
individuality.
it's a big
that's
deal
different.
for the
I
school.
don't think so. I mean, there's a difference between saying F you and saying, "Hey, man, I hope you die." You know, I guarantee if you put a gun in anybody and any person in any of their hands, they wouldn't pull the trigger. This is just, "Hey, F you, man." I've said it a billion times. I watched the playoffs last year, and I fuck the Red Sox. Okay.
Hey, Cody Parkey, how do you feel about him?
Oh my gosh! For one thing, I've said it on this show. I wish his plane would crash.
Oh my god, Chase.
Okay.
Okay, so you saying that's fine. Yes, that's sports. That's sports fandom. But and I've said it like I said, but it's just when everybody's saying it, dude, you can't do that.
I disagree because let me tell you, man. If I heard that if they were saying that about me, if you're a competitor, man, you gotta feel like a total badass.
So a lot of times you hear "overrated" chanted at basketball games. Overrated.
Yeah, but that's when they're sucking. That's
Yeah.
when they're sucking.
Brant is in the chat saying at Seymour, North Vernon games. Brant's from Seymour. The Seymour crowd would chant at North Vernon, "You're related."
That's fun.
That's
That's
awesome.
funny. That's
Yes.
witty. When it's just an FU, that's like, all
I
right,
don't know,
dude. That's
man.
no
I think
thought
they
behind that.
they took it a bit too far.
I've seen rivalries get pretty nasty.
All
And
right,
I love it.
To we're an hour and 6 minutes in here. Chase.
Barely getting started.
To
For one thing, hold on. I was raised in a home where my mom, we went to several Yankee games.
where you would have got your lip busted if you
No,
had said
hold
F
on,
you,
hold on.
Harms.
Hold on, okay? Not when it became, if it was about the Red Sox, I would have been okay. Because I went to several games with my mom where we went to Cleveland, we went to Chicago to see the Yankees play. And we almost got in fights because of my mom.
Why
That's
are
what I
you a
was gonna
Yankees
say.
fan when you're a Bears fan?
He's a
That's how my
front runner.
family is. My grandpa was a Yankees fan,
Okay.
and he
People
was
could
a
ask the
Chicago
same.
Bears fan.
I'm a Cubs and Steelers, so I
So-
hear you. All right. Just want to clarify.
Well, that's pretty sucky.
Have I told you about my Tampa Bay
How's
Devil
that
race
sucky?
lately?
The most wins since 2015. The Steelers are the winningest organization of all
Okay.
time.
For one thing, the Steelers are a thing of the past. I don't even know what happened there.
Thing
Like
past my ass.
the franchise is like watching the Real Housewives of Miami or something.
No, we're getting rid of them. You got cancers, you cut it out. 2 tumors, gone. We're good to go.
There'll be Bengals or Browns before sundown.
And then
Oh,
the
Chase-
Cubs didn't win for like 100 years.
Say what you were going to say, though.
Where was I at?
you were talking about your mother teaching you to be a Yankee fan.
Yeah, that's how I was raised. Okay, she almost got in fights every game we took her to because that's how much she loved the game.
It's different
Okay.
at college. At college level, it's different. You've got donors. You got to.
Don't get me
You're
wrong.
representing the alumni.
I don't like college sports
I think
because
it's
they don't
different.
get paid.
I think it's different at high school, but he's a big collegiate player in college. He's a grown up. He's an adult. What is he, like 21, 22? And he's
know.
got a douchebag haircut. Like, okay, Dakota, what would you think if you saw that guy walking down the street? You'd be like, F that guy.
I don't think that about people I see walking down the street.
See, I do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a
Thank
Seinfeld in me. I'm just like, you know what? We're not going to be friends.
you. That guy's sexier than I am. F that guy.
Right. The Larry David, Kirby Enthusiasm, Seinfeld, 100%. You know?
Yeah, I do love Larry David, and I do love Curb Your Enthusiasm. But to end this segment, I want to take a poll, starting with Chris Guffey.
What's up?
Do you think that the IU students that were chanting "Fu Harms" crossed the line?
No.
No,
That's
I'm
sports.
starting with Chris Guffey.
There's a poll.
Not Chase Payton. It's a poll.
No. I'm kind of with Chase, just not to the extreme and boisterous as Chase is.
I've never seen Chase this worked up in the history of the show.
I know.
It's what I love most about
2 beer
sports.
Charlie.
All right.
I could have a third one. That's like 5 beers.
So Chris is a no. Chase is obviously a no. What about you, Jer?
It was too much. It's too much.
So you think they crossed the line?
Yeah, and I've been a part of some really rough high school crowds.
Yep.
Like I to the
I
point
would
where you'd
say-
be a little. Hey, Chase,
You're doing one of
my
these
turn,
faces.
buddy.
I did say if it was high school, it'd be too far. But college, I think
You're
it's
one to
perfectly
talk,
fine.
Jer. Jeez.
What?
Mr. Interruption over here.
It's my show.
Shit.
It's my turn to pick on Chase.
Okay, all right.
Jeremiah, look at me. This
All right.
is my show now. This is my show.
He has the power.
I'm the guy. Oh, damn.
I also vote no. I think they crossed. I vote yes. Sorry.
Ooh, you scared me. there.
He voted
Sorry.
no before he voted yes.
You shouldn't
I
even
vote-
have
Flip
a
up,
vote.
Dakota.
I vote. I watched the videos. All right.
You don't watch sports. You're not a sports fan.
All right. I do watch some sports.
Hey man,
NASCAR is
Daytona
not a
Bring it to
sport.
you.
That's
they
like,
count if I'm-
that's
I
like
don't watch
saying,
NASCAR.
That's like me saying Donald Trump should be president.
He is president, though.
Exactly. That's why he's president.
Okay. But you don't even vote. Like at least I like during the regular
when
season.
when you get
I
a
at
wife
least
like
watch
the rest
highlights.
of us, you can vote on this.
Okay.
I do think they.
I don't
crossed the
even
line.
have a girlfriend. How?
I was going to say, where's
I'll
Chris-
never get a vote.
Where you at, Graysinger? Come on.
I told you guys at episode 55, you had the sports anchor on from Channel 13,
Who was that? Who did I have on? Oh, Taylor Tannenbaum.
Taylor Tannenbaum,
Yeah.
TT,
TT.
and she was she was making it very known that she was single. I think she was all over Ben, best I could tell.
Who is it?
Right. But I was saying, producer Chris over here, you got to float your resume, man. You got to slide it. You got Joey on the show. You got to connect with the sports anchor.
You want a little TT? We'll see what I can do.
See?
There we go.
Look at it. He's getting
Hey, I've
excited
heard
over there.
It's like this. It's like Joey. I've heard of you now. You're so important to me.
Oh, that changes everything.
What about
He's,
you,
he's
Joey?
looking her up on Instagram
Do you
right
think
now.
that? Do you think that the IU students cross the line with FU Harms?
I do, because I understand, like I've said, if there's Chase in the stands who's just saying, F you Harms, you suck my you know what, then that comes with the territory of being a college kid in the student section. But when it's a whole group effort, too far.
Focus on one person.
Too far.
that doesn't get paid.
Yeah, exactly. On one person.
At the end of the day, Harms got the last laugh.
He did.
He did.
And Purdue's
for
won
sure.
5 straight at IU. So
I don't hate Purdue. I'm an IU fan. Like for me, like I'm a diehard Bears fan. I'll watch every game. I'll watch most Yankee games, every game in the playoffs. But for IU, it's hit and miss for me, man.
everybody's got that team. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
The hobby
I
team?
just realized how much of
We
a
call it the
nerd I
girlfriend
was.
team.
Nice. Yeah, the side chick team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
they're my side chick team. And let me tell you, this team this year sucks.
I just
Like,
realized
Romeo
so
Langford,
bad.
man, wasted.
Oh my gosh.
I
feel bad for
realized
you
how
people.
big of a
They're
nerd I
so
was
boring to
because
watch.
I was sitting here thinking, am I an IU fan or a Purdue fan? And I thought, and I thought this was what went through my head, and it was, well, I've partied at IU, I've been to parties at IU, and I've had so much fun there, but Mitch Daniels is the president at Purdue,
He is.
and he's a good dude, and I've met him before, so like.
Hey,
And he also hasn't raised the tuition in 8 years.
And you love Danya
since
Lester?
2011. I
You've
like
got your
Danya
crush on
Lester.
My man Mitch.
So
Did you
does that
see-
make me a really big nerd because Mitch Daniels came into my mind because I was trying to
No,
make
he's a
sense?
big pull
Mitch
for,
is a legend.
for Purdue. He's
Yeah.
a big
All right,
pull.
all right.
I like
you,
Mitch Daniels.
Did you see what he said after the game? He pulled Matt Painter, the head coach, aside from Purdue after they'd won. The game was over.
Yorktown's
and
own.
They got him on. You know, somebody had their phone out and was filming it, and he was just like, "Man, I tell you, I was telling everybody, if anybody was going to do it, I wanted it to be Matt to make the last shot." So he was hyped,
He knew.
sticking
Then.
it to
He
him,
knew,
baby.
He
Yeah.
knew what it was.
I wasn't heartbroken. You know, I was like, it's what this team deserves. They don't put any effort in most of the games, at least. And the only way I would have been pissed if it was Kentucky. I hate
All right.
Kentucky.
All of that said, that was way too tight for Purdue
So-
down there
yeah.
against this
what
team.
were you guys doing?
I was in Louisville drinking.
I mean, I knew going in that this is IU's best bet to make another statement.
Yeah.
When they get in.
I didn't know
So I
the
was
game
like,
was going on.
I knew it was going to be ugly.
I
knew it
watched
was-
the last quarter. I don't know.
See, there's the two halves. So it just shows.
So,
yeah,
to
last
Every
half.
time Chase goes to a hockey game, he wonders what the hell happened to the fourth period.
I watched the last
why'd they
5
cut the
minutes.
game short?
That is true.
To end this segment of the show, the official Boss Hog of Liberty poll is 3-2 that the students did cross the line. And now we are moving into final
Your vote
thoughts.
doesn't count.
So that means we have revoked NCAA eligibility for the next 2 years.
Yep.
Is IU going to need a new coach? And if
Yes.
so, is that going to be the other NBA draft pick from Newcastle?
Steve Alford. That's who I wanted originally. I mean, he was okay at UCLA. I like him. I think
mean,
he'd
this
be
is-
a good fit.
This is a Newcastle show.
You think
I know
could
that.
throw
You
You
enough
have
money
to
at him?
endorse it.
I'm pretty. Isn't someone who really likes the show related to him?
Yeah.
I like Steve Alford.
I went to his camp in 6th grade. I did.
Really?
Hey, I'm just
How
saying.
was that?
It was fun. He has really nice hair.
No, honestly,
So-
he's who I wanted
You
originally.
must see Angela at MVP
And when
Barbershop.
we got Archie Miller, I was excited because he did well on
Over in Ohio.
over
Yeah,
in
Dayton,
Ohio,
yeah.
Dayton. But man, he sucked at Indiana. So he has one more bad year. You got to get rid of him.
One more on Chase Leash.
Yes,
All right.
one more.
Very short. I mean, listen, man.
I want
The
a
shoe with
winner.
the Steve Alford, well, cream and crimson looked pretty good.
It get me wet.
You think there's any chance he ever comes home to IU, or do you think it's just
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out just because at this point, it's like, what the hell else can they do to make them relevant and back in the picture? And every time IU has to make a move, it has to be something
Okay.
that turns the program.
Okay,
and-
we weren't too bad a few years ago with Tom Crean. We went to what, the Sweet 16?
too
that wasn't
bad.
good enough for IU? This
We
is the
beat
problem.
Kentucky. We beat Kentucky.
You gotta see. This is what happens. IU thinks that they're constantly the 21-year-old
Hold on,
peak
hold on,
physical
hold on.
condition when
Yeah.
they got to realize, hey, you know what? We're 42 now, balding.
Hey,
we got to figure it out.
Actually, male performance peaks at the age of 29. In case you were wondering.
Well, you know, college days maybe thinner, more cut.
So
Just scientifically speaking.
this is the problem that IU
Throw that into your next show,
IU
Joey.
thinks that they are absolutely at the
You
top.
guys are just jealous because IU's always going to be the golden child of Indiana.
No, Butler is.
No, IU and
Butler
Notre
is,
Dame.
for sure. Everywhere you go around here, people talk about Butler. But that I think that
No
might
way.
be because of Zach
Hold
Hahn.
on.
Zach Hahn, Chase
People
DeGraw,
like Butler. Everyone likes
Darnell
Butler.
Archie.
But people love IU and Notre Dame. People love IU and Notre Dame.
They love
roots-
Notre Dame because it's a religion, man. You
Everyone
have to, or else
roots,
the Pope will,
everyone
the Pope will
roots
hex you.
for Butler, but if they
for real,
played
though.
IU, people root
There's
for
a hunchback
IU
there.
over Butler any day.
Well, I root for Purdue. I love Purdue because the love of my life. We just walked back in the studio.
She's
There
waving
she is.
now.
We got engaged there, so it has a very
Now,
dear
you-
place in my heart.
Purdue's the ugly stepchild.
We're
Just saying.
Real quickly from Joey. You didn't just get engaged at Purdue. You did it big.
Not too big. It's
big.
actually pretty funny. We'll be able to tell our
Ballin'.
kids one day that we got
Joey.
engaged outside of a no alcohol beyond this point. So, at least we weren't under the influence, I suppose.
You
when
have
we were
any
making those
pointers
decisions.
for me?
Chase is very
Man,
close.
I
I
feel
think
like
if he
I'm-
hasn't bought the ring yet.
I'm
he's
in a
definitely
long-term committed relationship. You have any
I feel
pointers?
like I'm pretty good with my words, and I think RC will attest to the night we got engaged.
She's shaking her head, yes.
I couldn't tell you what I said at all. I mean, I just blacked out.
I know exactly what I
did
said.
the same thing, and I knew that she was going to say yes. We've been dating for like 4 years,
Yeah.
so I knew she was going to say yes. But it was like get down on one knee, and they get that surprised look on their face, and
She'd rehearsed it 1,000 times.
I do a podcast.
Yeah.
I talk all the time.
You didn't yet,
and,
then.
And I did the same thing I did whenever I had the ghost pepper. I was like,
yeah, but he still talked a lot.
and she goes, "Are you going to ask?"
See, I didn't have a problem asking. I didn't have a problem asking. My problem was the transition. You got to work on the transition because you get to the point where you're okay. This is what I'm going to kind of talk about. This is what I'm going to do. How
Yeah.
do you get from A to the point of
I
proposing?
had the whole
And that's
speech
where I
prepared in my
messed
head,
up.
and I took her to an overlook at the lake in Brookville, and I took our dog with us, and I had
the
this
dog
whole
running
speech
around.
prepared, and I was going to do it right over top of the lake, right where this overlook is at the state park, and we get to the overlook. And there's a 9-year-old's birthday party going on. And I was like, well.
probably playing Cardi B or something. Just like
And she's like, let's go to the overlook. Because I told her we were going to take pictures of the dog. And I said, how about we just walk through the woods away from the kids?
and now she thinks that you're going to kill her.
And I started walking in front of her. I'm like, I'm trying to lead the way. Well, I was an idiot, and I had the ring box in my back pocket, so she saw it.
So I had to wear a jacket.
See, when I proposed to Sarah, I had a photographer lined up with the telephoto lens like
You
200
did.
miles away.
Yeah.
So there was she had to hit the mark. She had to be in a certain spot. So it was we need to shuffle over here.
Did you have
come this way?
You have masking tape on the ground?
No, I had.
Patreon member Kirsten Kronk asked if all of us asked the ladies' fathers for permission first. I did.
I did as well.
I asked the father, the mother, and the stepfather.
Look at you.
Wow. I didn't ask the mother. As a matter of fact,
Well, I had to use the mother to get to the stepfather.
whenever I asked Audrey's father, whenever I was trying to get him to come to my house to ask,
Wow, you had him come to you.
Yes.
Wow, that's a power move.
wow.
Damn, oh, you come here. I'm going to marry your daughter.
I
You
said,
just slapped it right on the table.
I bought my.
I said, hey.
I bought RC's dad like a $50 dinner. I was like, brought him a sweatshirt.
well,
Like,
no,
Did you give him an espresso
I
shirt?
did.
I like to cook, so I said, "Hey Dennis, how about you come over? We can have I'll make some steaks and stuff for dinner." And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
And you said, Dennis, can you bring the beer because I'm not 21 yet?
I said, and he said, "Yeah, I'll ask Monica if she wants to come over." And I was like, no, this is just you and me.
It's a guy's night. We're not going to
And-
watch sports, but we're
Yeah.
gonna.
So whenever he came over, he knew what I was gonna do, and yeah. So I was like, I'm so awkward. I'm such an awkward person, and I like beat around the bush for like 30 minutes, and I finally was like, I want to ask Audrey to marry me, and he's like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, oh, that was it.
See, my potential.
Have you asked yet?
No. My potential future brother-in-law.
Katie's got a cool dad. Her dad is a really cool dude.
I'm really close to her dad. When that time comes, I'll ask him. But my potential future brother-in-law asked the dad, the mom, and the sister. And I'm like,
Wow.
Well, crap. Now I have to ask all
you
of
have to
those.
live up to that.
Yeah,
you have to
it
ask
really
Megan.
pissed me off.
How does Megan feel about
Megan.
you?
Megan, who kissed Dakota. They were a thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a very small
Look
town,
at you,
Joey.
dude.
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. Joey claimed my brother's girlfriend before he even knew her.
I was a horrible jerk to Jeremiah, to chase his girlfriend's sister.
Can
Oh, you said me. I
can
was
you
like,
say
what?
No, I'm
sorry?
sorry. Dakota
okay.
claimed my brother's girlfriend before he did.
I did. I claimed dibs way before Danny did. She didn't like me though, because I was like 3 years younger than her and a freshman in high school.
Dakota,
All right,
can you
man.
do a public apology to Megan real quick? That would win
I've
me
done
brownie
public apology.
points.
I've talked about this on the show way too many times.
He said, "Sorry, Megan, I have to break up with you. You're not pretty enough."
I did. Full disclosure.
Hey, you know
I
what?
100% did.
Good for you. Too often it's it's not me. It's not you. It's me. You're just straight up like
I invented it.
You
It's
ain't
not
pretty.
you, it's me.
I still feel like a horrible person for that. So thank you for bringing it up, Chase.
Oh man! When I asked Kevin, it felt very, very appropriate. Kevin's truck had broken down. I had this whole thing planned.
You
where
had the perfect moment.
I was going to. It was like Labor Day weekend or late fall,
Yeah.
and her family, my family, and a couple other friends. We were all camping down Brookville area. Dakota was
guys
going to be
love
there that
camping.
weekend. We camp a
I
lot.
love camping.
And Kevin's truck broke down like at Shelbyville, right out that exit in Shelbyville at Highway 44. And he's like, we're just going to get towed home. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, no, this is not acceptable.
Have Johnny the truck driver.
Yeah,
right
so
next
I'm
to
like
you?
negotiating with my dad, who had already gotten there early and dropped their camper off to go pick up my future in-laws' camper. And Dad and Libby went and drove separately with the camper down, and we were going to leave. We were going to drive my parents' vehicle with Kevin. So it worked out so that Kevin and I were the two of us, just us driving. Well, Kevin works second shift, so any spare moment he has, he's asleep like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we've got like an hour drive from Shelbyville to my parents' house and then down to like Brookville area. And I'm like running out of time because Kevin's asleep. So I slam on the brakes and wake him up. And then I'm like, we're literally getting so close. We're like Connors, but we're getting very close. I'm running out of time to ask. And I was just like, so I literally tried to start like 3 or 4 times. It couldn't get there. And finally I was just like, damn it. Just ask.
He was texting me through the whole thing like, oh, God. The truck just broke down.
There's nothing like somebody who had their truck broke down who's just trying to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And he asked
Yeah.
if he
He's
could
like,
marry
hey,
their daughter.
Hey, can I be a part of this?
Yeah.
Can I be in
And-
the family?
Kevin is such a man's man, too. Like,
He's
Kevin's
immediately-
an intimidating dude because he's such a manly man.
Oh yeah, he's a diesel mechanic. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Kevin. So,
Which, by the way, seeing him start to choke up at your wedding made me cry.
yeah,
Like,
Oh, it's awesome. Man.
yeah. So I asked him.
every
He's
time I
like,
think about it.
he's like, yeah, of course we love you or whatever. He's like, just let me know. I'm like, oh, I'm asking you, Kevin. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me think about it.
Yeah.
No, don't think about it.
Man,
Yeah.
you guys had much like RC's dad just didn't think that I was serious. He was kind of like, really? And I said, yeah.
Did he laugh?
And he was like, he kind of like leaned back, gave the old like wise dad like, how old are you? I was like, I mean, old enough.
That's like my worst fear.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a bad thing, but he just, he
The
wanted to
having
have
to
man-to-man
think about
talk.
it was my worst fear. And then whenever Dennis was like, yeah, sure. I was like,
Because he had to know,
What?
right? I mean, like, as a dad, I like to think 20 years from now,
You know
some
it's coming.
punk-ass kid is like, hey, could I, you want to go get a beer? Like, oh, like, okay, he's going to ask my daughter if he, you know, like, you got to prepare yourself.
I think if he's
I'm
a punk
more
ass kid, he's
nervous.
not going to be asking first.
I'm more nervous to ask her dad than I am asking her.
100%.
Katie, yeah,
Oh, yeah. I definitely was.
Katie is. If you don't know this, Katie's very ready for the question.
How long have you been together?
Almost 3 years.
Okay. Me and Ryan, we were really together like not even a year. So, it's, so
Dakota and I and some others were in a group chat.
Fist
Sarah
pumping
was.
in the background.
There were some subtle hints, like Sarah mentioning her ring size once a month. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Which she has definitely done to you. I know because you've told it to the world on this podcast.
You just go back and listen to episode 32 if you've forgotten.
Yeah, Jared called her man hands.
And then
great
to
Seinfeld reference.
add insult to injury, he titled the episode Man Hands.
Oh, that's awesome. That's hilarious. That's great.
Yeah, in
There
case
are a lot
anyone
of-
didn't know, Jeremiah titles the episodes.
I do.
You gotta, I know, because
Yeah.
you got a title that's something
That's
that people
right.
can be
And
like,
then I go back and change them whenever I realize that he's swapped from colons to dashes and then back from dashes to colons.
right. Gotta
Like,
It's,
dude, you gotta keep that consistency.
Yeah.
up.
All right. Final
That's all
thoughts.
right.
We got to get into this.
Yeah.
Guffey, real quick, you got final thoughts?
No.
Okay, great. Chase.
Real quick, I got pulled over. The cop was like, "Hey, Chase, did you know you were doing 40 and a 30? Were you aware that that was a 30?"
This is why you're late and disheveled coming
Where
in.
was it at?
I'm gonna say it was in a small town right outside of Newcastle,
No, tell me the town.
Caddis?
Kennard.
Kennard.
And I was like, "Yes, officer, I did know that." And I was honest. I was nice to him. I was like, "Listen, man," I was like, "I go through this town every day, twice a day, to and from work." I was like, "I try to go 30. I just wasn't paying attention this time." He gave me a warning.
Nice.
But what I was thinking was, "Yes, officer, I know it's a 30 because I got pulled over in this exact same spot 6 months ago."
No.
What
You should never say yes because then they're incriminating you.
Well, for one thing,
it's asking you to self-incriminate.
if I get pulled over,
Talk to Sean Rao, the defense attorney. He will tell you everything you need to know.
going 94.
Never
No,
talk
officer,
to
I
the
had no
police.
idea.
Shut the F up.
if I get pulled over and I don't think I deserve it, I'll probably be a little bit of a douche. Not enough of a douche to get tased, but enough of a douche to where like you give me a ticket, I understand.
You get pulled over from the police. If anyone's asked, if anyone wants to know, the proper order of operations is, sir, do you know how fast you were going? Sorry, officer, I don't talk to a police without my lawyer present. And he says, license and registration, please. And you say, these are my hands. My registration is in the glove compartment. I'm going to reach for that. Then you open it and you give it to him. And then you say, my license is in my wallet, which happens to be in my back pocket, and I'm going to reach for that. I do not have a weapon. And then
Bang!
Then you reach for that, and then you give it to him, and he walks back to his car. He gives you a ticket.
If it's in the back pocket,
Well,
that's a bunch of BS.
Today I was like, listen, man, I'll be honest. I have no idea how fast I was going. I was like, it's been a long day. I've had a lot of stuff on my mind. I wasn't paying attention, and he was a really nice guy.
which
That's probably
Which
why you
department
get
was he
warnings
representing?
and I get tickets.
I don't remember. It wasn't the usual cop car I usually recognize because I usually see the regular cop car by like the post office, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going 40. And today I really wasn't paying attention, and I passed him, and I was like, oh, screw. I was about to say the F word. Oh, crap. He's going to pull me over. And then he turned around. I knew it was all over, but like I said, nice guy. You know.
are you joining us next week when we talk with Sheriff Deputy Landon Dean? We can talk through this.
Yeah, I talked to
Yeah, for
Landon.
sure.
I've talked to him before, right?
I don't know.
He's the one that dates.
No,
Or no,
I don't think he's dating.
he's not dating.
I know. I
He's
don't.
never-
Who are you talking about?
Wrong person.
You're thinking of Matt Pierce, who,
That's-
is,
yeah.
who is married
He's married to
Newcastle Police Canine Officer Brandy Pierce.
That is actually exactly who I was talking about.
Dirty cop.
I'm guessing Landon Dean has had a bad dating past, or
No, I just don't think he's.
No, he's just not
Okay.
dating.
All right. Well, no.
I didn't want.
I
I didn't
was
want any
thinking-
rumors to start about a future
Well,
guest.
All I'm saying is I was thinking of Matt Pierce. So
So, I got pulled over one time doing 72 and a 60, and I had worked a 16-hour shift.
what's the fastest you've ever been?
Like 98. I haven't broken 100.
Oh, weak.
You've never
Yeah.
driven 100 in a car?
Why don't you
No,
just round it
we
up to
covered this
100
in like
for us?
episode number 2 of this podcast.
So you got the 98, but you couldn't go 2 more.
I was in my 1989 Cavalier. I
That new Buick's
didn't
gotta-
want to get
That was
100.
a
That new
pretty
Buick's
sweet
got to do
car.
100,
It's a cool
man.
car.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I would definitely do it, but I was going 98. It was raining outside. My curfew was 11 o'clock. It was like 10:58, and I was in Cambridge City.
He used
And I
to
live
put-
in Dunreath, so
He used to put like a Budweiser cap on his little stereo.
it was a Killian's Irish Red, and I had it super glued
I thought
to
it
the
was really
volume
cool.
button.
I was like, yeah, he's way cooler than I am. My parents would kill me.
All right, Chase.
my parents didn't know that I had it. I had to steal it from one of their beers in the trash can. But I got pulled over doing 72 and a
That's not
60.
near as cool as I thought.
I had worked a 16-hour shift, and I had taken my boots off from work, and the police
Your
officer...
boots with the fur.
Yes, and as I said, I say I don't answer questions without my lawyer present.
You did
And
not.
No, that's my standard
As
procedure.
a child, you said this.
Yes, at 8.
Is that what you really do?
Yeah, 100%. I've always done that.
Do you get a ticket every time?
Yeah.
No
Do you realize
I will not talk to police without my lawyer present.
I've been
Unless it's
douchey.
on your radio show.
I've been douchey to cops,
Yeah.
and I've been very, very respectful to cops. And I've only got a ticket one time, and I've been pulled over a lot.
I feel like them asking you if you know how fast you're going is trying to catch you into admitting guilt. I don't like that question. If they would lead with a different question, if they would go, "How are you doing this evening?" I'd be like, "I'm doing really good. How are you doing?" And they would go, "I need to see your license and registration because you were going 72 and a 60." I'd be like, "No problem, officer. Let me just get that for you."
You don't
But
unbutton
the
your
fact
shirt.
that they say, "Do you realize how fast you were going?" I say, "I'm sorry, officer. I don't answer questions without my lawyer present."
All right.
And
Two different approaches.
he
We've seen the
he-
results.
He asked me. The guy asked me. The police officer said, "Are you driving without shoes?" And because I'm the nerd that I am, I knew that the state legislature had just reformed the law that said that you were legally allowed to drive without shoes on.
I didn't
'Cause
know
it
that
was
was
like-
ever a law.
Wow.
It was like 2015, and I said, "Yes, sir, I am driving without shoes on because I'm just leaving work, and you cannot get me on that anymore because the state legislature just reformed the law." And
So he really hates you.
he hated
He
me.
hates you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you are previewing the Landon episode so well. This is going to
We
be.
can
a
talk
great
to
time.
Landon about this. It'd be a good episode.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
All right, are you done with final thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mercifully.
Yep.
All right, Joey, buddy,
Well, thanks for having me.
this was fun.
I'm glad to be able to come back without Polizzi every now and then because everybody's always looking at him and I get tired of it.
Well, listen,
He does make everybody look bad.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah.
I was showing the videos, the espresso videos, and Dakota's like, "Did you show him the Hammer and Nigel one from the Antelope Club?" Because
Yeah.
Dakota's just like, "I got to see Joey without a shirt on."
Yeah. No,
That-
Ben without his shirt.
Yeah, well,
That
Although I am
commercial-
hitting the gym. so-
That commercial is hilarious.
Yeah, no, he did a really good job.
Whenever Hammer and Nigel are washing the car without their shirts,
Yeah.
and at the very end, whenever Ben says, "When can I start washing cars?" and they say, "When you look as good as us."
That's good, man. That's some age-old comedy for sure. Daytona 500, don't watch. Solar Power, still trying to figure out what Dakota was talking about, but I know that I can charge my phone by the pool now with
right,
solar
you can.
energy, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Harm, they went too far with Harms. You know, boiler up, right, baby? 5 straight.
I don't know.
5 straight at IU. This is a Boilermaker state, not a Hoosier state. Then a couple things besides the thank yous. Espresso did just get a page on 1070thefan.com.
Oh, you're official.
nice.
So if you go 1070thefan.com/espresso radio, you'll be able to find me and Ben Polizzi's podcast, some
Do
of
the
our
people
blogs.
do the people that
our
are in charge
Instagram.
know that you did this, or you just did
They
it on
did.
your own and like it's there now?
No, I did not. I did not go behind their back. Surprisingly for this, they encouraged it. Some of them did.
They're embracing the show.
ones that matter did. So you can find us 1070thefan.com/espresso, and then on Instagram at espresso fam. Like I told Chase, we've had Jeff Braun, Pat McAfee, Victor Oladipo, Kirk Barron, Murphy Lee. I mean, it's just a hodgepodge, man.
You guys
Now-
are all digital right now. Is there going to be like maybe a Saturday show, a Sunday show, some talk of opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully here soon. But,
Gotta happen, man.
Yeah, but that's it right now.
I
for
listen.
Espresso.
now-
I listen to you on iTunes.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now,
iTunes
now
and Stitcher.
Guffey,
Yeah.
I want you to zoom in on Joey's sweatshirt. And see this is an espresso pullover sweatshirt.
Crew neck. So you
Crew
go to
neck sweatshirt.
benpolizzi.com. Somehow he has the monopoly on that.
They're
We're still trying
they're
to-
my favorite.
You gotta go to his
sweatshirts.
name.
I don't like the hoodies as much as I like the regular crew
Okay,
neck.
there you go. So
So
last
tell
year,
me where I can get those.
Right. Thank you. Last year we did the hoodies, black hoodies, and then this fall we did crew necks, like
Yeah, you
Dakota
went with
mentioned.
the heather.
Gray heather kind with espresso across the chest, really comfy, great to work out in, great to lounge in.
Heck yeah.
It's nice. They're gender friendly, right? Is that a term? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, gender
They're gender
neutral.
neutral. Yeah.
I prefer friendly better because it's like neutral is just kind of like,
Gender is a spectrum.
Friendly is like, we like
Biological sex does not exist.
Yeah. So benpolizzi.com shop is still up. You can get that. We got hats. So and they're cheap too. The hats are only like $10 and this is like 15 or 20. So
Beautiful.
nothing big. But thanks, really. This is a lot of fun. I love coming out here. Thank you.
We're
Quick
glad
question.
we're glad to finally show this place off to you. Last time you were in the spare bedroom, and this time we got to come to the.
I
to
was
the real
amazed by
studio.
that, dude. And then now I come here and I'm like,
Yeah, man, that was a pain in the butt to take apart when we sold the house.
I bet.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is that the famous Jordan hat?
This is, yeah. This
It is.
The black on black.
Awesome to be in the presence of the famous Jordan hat.
I thought I had lost it. It was a very, very sad day for me. And then, per usual, my fiance found it just laying under the bed.
They
so
are
she
great
took
at that.
care of me.
You
So,
say, "Hey, babe, have you seen this?" And they go, "Yeah, you dumbass, it's right here."
take your head out of your ass and look, and it's like, there it is. So, yes.
Yeah.
Chase.
I had that experience last night with bacon. I made the wrong
was
thing
under
for dinner.
your bed?
I couldn't find
It
the
was
bacon.
under your bed, yeah.
Turns out I had to move something, and it was right there in
Sarah,
the fridge all
have you
along.
seen the bacon? Yeah, you dumbass, it's under the bed.
You've been sleeping on it the whole time. Oh man, Dakota, final thoughts? You got anything?
My final thoughts are: I think it was a good idea to cancel the Newcastle City primary. Don't talk to the police because they are trying to self-incriminate.
Don't
you.
listen to Dakota. You button your shirt down and you say, "I'm sorry, sir. You have a great day. Would
Nope.
you like me to move to a safer location for you?"
What do you do when the
Warning-
police ask you a question?
Warning
you show them,
every time.
you show them your hands and you shut the F up. Without your lawyer, you don't say anything. And also, none of you will ever know the location of my bug out.
or your safe word. We won't know.
Or
Safety
my safe
word
word.
is more.
But thank you all for listening. I have a great time doing this podcast. Thank you, Joey, from Espresso Podcast, for coming on 1070 The Fan. It's great to have people like you on that have experience on radio because we get to have a good time.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you all for subscribing, liking, and reviewing us on iTunes. We haven't had a single bad review on iTunes yet. I noticed the other day.
Yeah, on Facebook, my mom
wrote
gave
a
me 4
review.
stars the one time,
Yeah.
but otherwise it's been great.
Did you see my review?
You reviewed us on
iTunes.
iTunes?
Yeah.
No.
You see it?
Did you talk about
I can't
yourself?
see names on iTunes. Whenever I look at the reviews, I can't
The
see
name
names.
is Chaz.
Chaz.
Yeah, I
All
used
right.
an alias.
Okay. I'll look for that. I don't remember it, but I'll look for it.
It said I'd F those guys. That was me.
But it's getting to that time of the year again where we will be posting our Boss Hog of Liberty survey. So if you are a regular listener of the show, if you are just a sometimes listener of the show, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we will try to change accordingly. No promises, though. And also, the Libertarian Party of Henry County, of Delaware County, of Rush County, of all of District 6 will be hosting our convention where we will be nominating our party officers as well as the people that we are going to put up for elected office in the municipal elections in 2019. That will be at Montgomery Steakhouse on March the 2nd, which is a week from this Saturday. And it's $22 to purchase your ticket, which pays for the location and also all of the food that we will be having. So I really hope everybody comes there. I really am looking forward to seeing everybody come. If you are not a member of the Libertarian Party, then you can come. You're always welcome to attend. But you do have to be a member to vote on official business.
You can come, but you can't eat, speak, or drink. Basically.
You can eat. You can eat. If you pay the $22, we'll let you eat.
Hey, real quick. Do you guys use your Instagram at all?
I'm a Twitter guy.
but man,
Chris Guffey is in charge of that.
Boss Hog.
Yeah, Guffey does it.
yeah, not,
He's the man.
Not very much. No, I know you're
can't
more
get
Facebook. Espresso's more Instagram.
yeah, I can't get behind it.
So
I try, but
I just want to let y'all know because I didn't know if you saw it or not. Not to humble brag here, but not even humble brag. But I just didn't know if you saw it. But when you guys had your 100th episode last week, we posted a story, tagged you guys, congratulated.
Oh, we
you.
missed it.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
no.
I didn't. You know, it's
Oh man,
So sorry.
it's a big. Your Instagram game is very strong.
I mean, your
it
guys'
is
Facebook
awesome.
is very strong,
Yeah.
so that's why we wanted to put it on Instagram
Yeah.
so that maybe get some. But
Nice.
yeah, so congrats again on over 100.
Appreciate that,
Hope to get
Joey.
to that level. That's awesome. So good deal.
It's very cool. All right, final thoughts for me. If you join Patreon, we've talked about it, and I think we're going to do it this year for sure. I don't think we'll put Chase in charge because it won't actually happen. But
Well, listen.
we're going to do an NCAA.
I'll just say it. Brantley's like a younger brother to me, and
Chase.
Christy's like the younger sister I've never wanted.
Chase,
You
don't
have
say
a
it.
younger sister.
If you apologize, don't apologize.
All right, so if you join the Patreon group, we're going to have an NCAA pool. So
And
March
Craig,
Madness.
Craig DaCosta's my dad.
All right, NCAA pool. Join
Who's
the
that?
Patreon.
Christopher
This is like
Bilbrey.
your 1 week. We can have.
He's the creepy uncle.
What about Jonathan Phillips?
I don't know that guy.
Okay.
You're a mess, Jason. You're a mess.
I mean, he is the other crazy uncle.
All
You
right.
said creepy the first time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right.
Shut up, Dakota.
You're terrible. All right, yeah. If you join the Patreon, any level, we'll let you in the NCAA bracket. So we're gonna have one.
Which I
Listen,
will
Yes.
not be participating.
no, you've got to. You're a host.
Neither will I. You.
How much? How much should we do? 5?
That's a
I
good
don't
one.
know. I don't know if we do it free for members, Patreon members, because they've already contributed, or what we'll do.
We should do free for Patreon members.
And you have to purchase something off the Amazon wish
Should we
list
just
for
do it?
non-Patreon members.
Should we do it for Patreon members and then they get like a cool gift?
I don't know. We'll work it out. You and I will spearhead this thing,
All
but
right.
the only people that are in it are cast, family, Patreon members. So join
All
the
right.
Patreon. If you're not one of those, get in there. We will see you all next week. Episode 102. Landon Dean, the park board president,
Maybe I'll get tased.
town council member in Knightstown, and
Sorry, sir, I don't speak to the police without my lawyer present.
and Henry County Sheriff's Department. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.